Everyone wants to get rich, but nobody tells you there are different species of rich people. Some people get rich slowly. Some people get rich accidentally. Some people get rich by taking insane risks. And some people just spawn into the game with the money already unlocked. So today, let's break down the main ways people actually get rich. Some are smart, some are stupid, some are boring, some are pure luck. Some are probably illegal, and some are so ridiculous they should come with a warning label. And by the end, you'll know which path is realistic, which one is delusional, and which one might secretly be the smartest. Let's start with the easiest one, the inheritor. If you're not already rich, this one's probably not for you. The window is closed. The inheritor didn't grind. The inheritor didn't take massive risks. The inheritor didn't wake up at 5 a.m. and drink raw eggs while listening to a billionaire podcast. They just got lucky, like cosmic lottery lucky. They were born into money, straight up spawned from a rich person's balls into life with beachfront property, a private chef, and a trust fund larger than a small country's GDP. No strategy, no business plan, no sacrifice. Just boom. Welcome to Earth. Here's your family office. It's like winning the lottery without even knowing a lottery existed, then getting annoyed because your driver took the scenic route to brunch. Now sure, people love to say, well actually, growing up rich can be hard too. And yeah, maybe. Maybe having everything handed to you can mess with your motivation. Maybe money starts feeling like Monopoly paper. Maybe you develop a deep spiritual emptiness while staring at the ocean from your third vacation home. But let's be honest. Existential dread probably hits softer when you're driving a Lambo to golf on a Tuesday morning. So yes, inheritance is one of the most powerful wealth-building strategies in history. Unfortunately, the application deadline was your birth. Next up, the average Joe. Also known as the 9-to-5 guy, the safe player, the guy whose biggest financial risk is ordering guacamole at Chipotle. This path is not flashy. Nobody is making motivational edits about a guy increasing his retirement contribution by 2%. But it works. Average Joe goes to school, gets a normal job, earns a salary, pays his bills, saves some money, invests a little every month, and slowly builds a stable life. At first, it feels painfully boring. He gets excited about health insurance. He compares mortgage rates. He packs lunch instead of ordering food every day. His idea of a financial win is finding out his company matches retirement contributions. But year after year, something starts happening. His debt goes down, his investments go up, his house builds equity, his salary improves. And eventually, the guy who looked boring at 25 starts looking very peaceful at 55. He may not be yacht rich, he may not be flying private, he may not be drinking coconut water on a balcony in Monaco while wearing linen pants, but he's also not panicking every time his car makes a weird sound. And honestly, that's a very underrated form of wealth. The average Joe path is slow. It is predictable. It is not sexy. But for a lot of people, it's the most realistic way to build real wealth. Next, the meme coin millionaire. This is the most chaotic one. You're lying in bed at 1 a.m. when your friend texts you, "Bro, buy this coin now." The coin is called FartRocket. Of course it is. You have no idea what it does. Nobody does. The website has a cartoon frog, 3 spelling mistakes, and a roadmap that just says, Community, Vibes, Moon. But your friend made money on another stupid coin last week, so you throw in $100 and go to sleep. A month later, you're scrolling TikTok and some finance bro in a tank top is screaming that FartRocket is up 6,000%. You freeze. Wait, FartRocket? Didn't you buy that? You open your crypto app. You dig through your dusty little portfolio of forgotten garbage coins, and there it is, FartRocket. You tap the chart. It's not just up, it's vertical. Green candles shooting into space like the coin is trying to meet God. You refresh. The number updates. You stare. Your $100 is not worth 120. It's not worth a couple grand. It's worth $4 million. You sit there in silence, realizing you accidentally beat capitalism with a coin named after digestive failure. And because you are now a financial genius, your first move is obviously to buy a BMW M4. Not a tax advisor, not index funds, not a house, a depreciating asset with red leather seats. This path can technically make you rich, But it's not really a strategy. It's a lottery ticket wearing sunglasses. For every person who turns $100 into millions, there are thousands of people who turn thousands of dollars into a screenshot they refuse to talk about. Next, the entrepreneur. This person is different. They are not waiting for safety. They are not waiting for permission. They are not waiting until everything is perfect. They try things. Dropshipping, failed. Clothing brand, sold 3 hoodies, 2 to their mom. TikTok agency, didn't finish the website. Podcast, 4 episodes, 1 listener, also their mom. But they keep going because the alternative feels worse. A normal job, a predictable schedule, fluorescent lights, fake office birthdays, 40 years of pretending to care about quarterly updates. No thanks. So they sacrifice comfort. They work late, they live cheap, they drink terrible coffee, they build random ideas from a laptop that sounds like it's preparing for takeoff. And eventually, one idea works. Maybe it's software, maybe it's a service, maybe it's an app that claims to help people communicate with their dogs. Does it actually work? Debatable. But the branding is clean, the marketing goes viral, people download it, and suddenly a bigger company notices. Then one morning, you get the email. They want to buy it. $2 million, just like that. After all the failures, after all the ramen, after all the "bro, when are you getting a real job" comments. You did it. You made it. You're free. You could chill now. You could take a vacation. You could buy something stupid and shiny. But you don't. Because for the real entrepreneur, the win isn't just the money. It's the game. The money is proof. The grind is the addiction. Next, the OnlyFans Creator. Now this might be one of the riskiest plays on the list, because if most businesses fail, you can move on. Failed bakery? Sad, but fine. Failed clothing brand? Embarrassing, but survivable. Failed OnlyFans? That is a different level of commitment. You didn't just launch a bad product, you posted yourself on the internet forever, and the internet collectively said, "Nah, we're good." That's not a failed business, that's a villain origin story. But let's be real, the upside is huge. The top creators are printing money. People act like it's just taking a few pictures and waiting for money to fall from the ceiling. But that's not how it works. Making serious money on OnlyFans is not just about looks. It's marketing, branding, content strategy, fan engagement, retention, paid messages, constant posting, emotional labor, and pretending you're deeply interested in a guy named Kevin who tips $4.99. It's basically running a media company, except the product is you, and HR does not exist. The top 1% can make insane money, but the other 99%? They take the risk. They deal with the judgment. They post the content. And the internet just shrugs. So yes, it can make you rich, but it is not free money. It is high risk, high reward, high exposure, and potentially a very awkward Thanksgiving dinner. Next, the gold digger. You're 23, you're hot, like really hot. Runway cheekbones, 300,000 followers, and a skincare routine that costs more than most people's rent. And now you're engaged to the love of your life. A charming, wise, slightly older gentleman. He's 75, he has stage 4 cancer, and he calls you Angel, even though he forgets your name sometimes. When people ask why you're marrying him, you smile sweetly and say, "Because I love him." Age is just a number, and technically so is a bank balance. Everyone around you knows exactly what's going on. His friends know, his nurses know. The waiter at your engagement dinner definitely knows. But you keep the act tight. When his adult children pull you aside and mention his $100 million estate, you widen your eyes and gasp like you just found out Santa Claus is real. Oh my God, I had no idea. Oscar-worthy performance, no business risk, no startup capital, no taxes, no pitch deck, no failed prototypes. You're not investing, you're inheriting. And the asset was already acquired the moment he called you Angel for the first time. Is it glamorous? No. Is it ethical? Also no. But is it effective? Devastatingly. Just don't mess it up by crying too hard at the funeral. You've got a yacht party to plan. Next, the NPC Investor. This is the most boring person in the room, and weirdly, they might be the smartest. The NPC Investor doesn't care about looking rich. They don't buy designer clothes. They don't finance a car to impress strangers at a red light. They don't spend half their paycheck trying to create an Instagram story that says, "Look, I'm doing well." They live simple. They work. They save. They invest. They repeat. Rice, frozen vegetables, discount protein, old phone, used furniture, Target clothes, and a budget spreadsheet that looks like it was built by someone preparing for economic war. Their friends call them boring, and they are boring. Painfully boring. But after 15 or 20 years, the boring person starts looking very smart. No debt, paid off house, investments producing income, freedom from needing a boss, freedom from pretending, freedom from waking up every Monday feeling like life is a prison with free coffee. They are not rich in the Instagram way. No yacht, no mansion, no diamond watch, but they own their time. And owning your time might be the cleanest form of wealth there is. Next, the influencer. You start by posting cringe videos from your bedroom. Trends, fake story times, lip syncs, life advice you are absolutely not qualified to give. At first, only your cousin and 3 bots like your posts. But you keep posting, and slowly people start watching. 10,000 followers, 50,000, 100,000. Then brands start emailing you. Your first deal is with a print-on-demand shirt company selling legally questionable cartoon frogs. The shirts are terrible. They shrink in the wash, feel like cardboard, and look like they were designed during a power outage. But they pay you $10,000. So you look into the camera and say, "These are actually fire." And somehow, people buy them. That's when you realize attention is money. Once people are watching, every post becomes a billboard. You can sell products, courses, sponsorships, merch, apps, communities, anything. The influencer path looks easy from the outside, but it is exhausting. Because you are the product, the media company, the sales team, the customer support department, and the brand. And if you stop posting, the machine stops eating. Still, if you win, it can make you rich very quickly. Not because you built the best product, but because in the modern world, attention is one of the most valuable assets on earth. So those are the main paths. The inheritor gets rich through family. The average Joe gets rich slowly. The meme coin millionaire gets rich through chaos. The entrepreneur gets rich by building. The OnlyFans creator gets rich through exposure. The gold digger gets rich through patience and a very convincing performance. The NPC investor gets rich through discipline, and the influencer gets rich through attention. Different paths, different risks, different prices. But here's the real lesson. Most wealth comes from leverage. Family leverage, skill leverage, risk leverage, attention leverage, discipline leverage, capital leverage. The question is not just, how do people get rich? The real question is, what kind of leverage do you actually have? Because if you have family money, use it wisely. If you have attention, monetize it. If you have skills, build with them. If you have time, invest it. If you have discipline, compound it. And if you have none of those yet, start with the boring path. Earn more than you spend. Avoid stupid debt. Buy assets. Learn valuable skills. Invest consistently. Repeat for years. It's not sexy. It won't make a viral TikTok. Nobody is going to say, "Wow, this guy automated his Roth IRA contribution. What a beast." But boring works. And while everyone else is chasing shortcuts, the quiet person doing the simple thing over and over again might be the one who actually ends up free. So which path are you on? And which one are you willing to pay the price for? Comment your type below. And if you want part 2, I'll break down the fastest ways people lose money after they finally make it.